Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know about this game because I work as a security guard, and normally I'm on night shift. I'll take my PS3 monitor and my 4G connection, and I'll tether it up, and I'll play like Street Fighter HD Remix online on PS3. So that was like my only game. And then one of the days I was bored, so I thought, let's see if I can download the demo. And I seen this on there, and it was like, yo, this game is just wicked. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I can't believe it's not more popular. It's a top level game. I mean, it's so immersive.
Well, I wouldn't want it to be popular right now. I mean, not in the state that it's in, but once it's all, really polished, then, like maybe we could
fix it up a little bit.
Marketing. Yeah, we need to fix it up some more. I mean, it's in no condition right now to be mass marketed like it used to be. CSP did that once, and that was a big mistake.
It's a good game, though. I mean, my last FPS before this was Turok Evolution on GameCube. We used to play 4-player split screen way back. Since then, all I've ever played was fighting games. So like, this was like, to me, this is like high-tech stuff.
Yeah. But overall, though, there needs to be like implementation for like tutorials and stuff like that. But like one thing in particular, like you can put a tutorials all you want, but overall, I think the biggest thing that needs to be overhauled is the academy system. It doesn't really feel like an academy, like its name implies. It's just you go in, spawn, shoot, get killed or kill, and that's it. Like I've tried out the new player experience with a new alt that I created because I had like an empty slot that I didn't even use, and I just wanted to see how it feels like from a new player's perspective. And I wasn't really offered much in any like tutorials or things like that, and I went through 3 matches, and automatically I left academy for some reason, and then I was already put into the pub matches to be fed to the sharks. It wasn't really a very good learning experience then.
Yeah, and they needed to put more details on the weapons. Like, when I first seen the shotgun in the market, I wanted to use it because when I used to play Turok, I used to use a shotgun, and you can use like a quad barrel shotgun and stuff. So I thought, let me try the shotgun out. Well, like 38 damage or 40 damage, that's not a lot. And I'll try shooting people, and did take no damage because I didn't know that you had to go like 4 or 5 yards away. But when I found out like 2 months later, all I would do was put a militia light frame on and just stand on the A objective and wait for someone to come and shoot them. I wouldn't even run around. I just camped the objective, and I get a kick out of it. But now that's getting a bit boring, so I stopped doing that. Well, I think they need to tell you more about the damage of a weapon and how it works.
Yeah, like they need to implement that kind of feature, like to tell you the profiles of each weapon. We just don't have that kind of information right now. It's just like you pick a weapon, just try it out and see how it works. Like from what I know, plasma, the assault rifle. For some reason I was about to say plasma rifle. I guess that kind of stuck for a while. But the assault rifles, they deal damage to shields, and I think also scrambler rifles, they deal damage to shields, perhaps. Or was that the rail rifle? I can't remember.
Yeah, scrambler and assault rifles go for shields.
Yeah,
the rest
rail rifle.
Hybrid blaster is shields, and rail tech is armor.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so in that case, railguns are armor, and the combat rifle would be for armor as well. Like me being a scout, I usually carry a lot of flux grenades because like a lot of the players that I face tend to be very tanky. So like I just chuck a flux grenade right in there and just stab them like as soon as the flux goes off. It's also pretty good for clearing out any objectives from remote explosives, which I'm allergic to.
Oh, I learned that in factionals with all the remote on an objective. Throw a flux first before you hack it.
Yeah. Although I have to be careful with factional warfare on those grenades, because like a friend puts a remote explosive and I chuck a grenade, and we're still there.
Oh, I had the
well,
best.
friendly on accident.
I had the best kill I think so far in the last 6 days I've ever done. For the last week. Today I had to go somewhere and I had like 20 minutes left to play. I re-rolled a mission to get the Omega booster. I needed to get one hack on an objective, so I had to get 5. And on the opposite team, there was 15 members of, I can't remember what corp, and one from a different, so like a big Q sync. And I was like, you know what, if I don't get objective E right now, I'm not going to get objective, I have to go. So I ran to the objective, my teammate was hacking it, I just killed him and hacked it myself. I couldn't stop laughing. That was the best hack I've done in like a month. Team killed him, took the hack, done my mission.
Yeah. That sounds like fun. Oh yeah, Shanuk. I'm pretty sure Shanuk over here said that, you know, like, it's like, you know, that he doesn't hate Eve, it's just that success from Eve caused him to try things that won't work here in Dust. Shanuk, I just wanted to point out that that's only part of the factor. The other factor is that CCP, like according to CCP Retarding, said that before he took charge, CCP dev team for Dust had this mentality that like a lot of the features needed to be delayed because the complexity of their future vision, you know, caused them to delay it. For example, if they wanted to implement simple trading, let's just say that, for example, they wanted to implement it when it was already complex, and CCP Retarding felt that that was not the way to go. Like what he wanted to do instead is what he's doing now, is implement things like in their simple form and then build them up slowly over time. Like the simple trading that's supposed to come in the 1.1 update for Warlords, which is either this month or next month, is going to be restricted to just simple. It's simple trading, so simple in fact that like it's just you send an item to a player and then hope that that player sends you ISK in return. It's not like a direct market thing that they have in Eve. And also it's going to be restricted to ISK items at first, just to see if there's any bugs. You don't want to be trading Aurum items when there's bugs going around and you get screwed over because of it. I mean, it's one thing to lose ISK to a scam, but it's another to lose ISK and Aurum to a bug. So best to iron out any bugs before switching on the, you know, the feature for Aurum trading. But when that happens, I can imagine a lot of like Aurum things like boosters, respecs, and things like that will be selling like hotcakes.
No, I don't think you should get a respec. You should just leave everything spread out, and unless you made some big mistakes. But
yeah. Well, so far like respecs didn't seem to impact Dust very much, and from what I've seen, like, you know, having so much SP doesn't really account for winning anyways. That's like having so much SP is like the equivalent of owning more hats. You're not gonna get better with more hats. You're just gonna look better with more hats.
that's it.
Well, and fulfill different roles too, you know.
Yeah, but you don't feel. But in the end, you don't really feel more powerful having more SP. You just feel more flexible.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, at the moment, all I do is skill up my BPOs, like my templates. I've got all them done. My Quaif heavy set, I've just got all them to Proto. Now I need to get hopefully a Quaif HMG, then I'll get that to Proto. So, otherwise, I don't know what to skill really.
Yeah. Like what's the next like, you know, specialty that like, or at least like what's the one kind of suit that you were like interested in trying out now?
But not really anything, you know.
Not really anything. Just.
I just like getting into the action and shooting. So that's why I like the heavies. I mean, at the moment, I just.
So you prefer like being like upfront and personal quite a lot?
Yeah.
Like
So at the moment, I'm running the Minimatar Sentinel. But depending on the map, if there's a lot of breaks between action, I'll probably run the Galente and have that as a repping one. And I'll use the Amai for the Logia round, and the Kaldari Sentinel, I'll use that for Forge Gun, or But I just use it as a heavy machine gun with 3 damage mods. Like to load the people in an area, just go in kamikaze and try and take as much as you can. I mean, it works. I mean, I've gone one-on-one with a Halmar Sentinel with my Quaif Kaldari, and I've took him out with just a militia heavy machine gun and 3 complex damage mods, and he must have felt embarrassed. So you could do some crazy fits with the Kaldari heavy frame.
Yeah. I think I haven't got the Kaldari heavy frame yet, but like I said, I got the Amar heavy and the Mimitar heavy, and like
yeah, the Mimitar's good.
Yeah. When it comes to like Logis, like the Galente Logi, I use it strictly for scanning. Like I put like 2 or 3 active scanners in the equipment slots, and because like they each have a cooldown timer that's very long, so I activate one, wait a while, switch to the next one, activate that, wait a while, and then switch, activate that, wait a while, and that way I could cycle between each of those 2 or 3 active scanners and keep scans active. That's one tactic people use to maintain that constant message that you see on the top of your screen saying you've been scanned or scan attempt prevented.
Yeah, I mean the scans are not as bad as when I first started playing it. People, you could like see people just scanning and spinning around, and there's no getting away from it.
Oh, the scan arenas of old. Oh man, I remember those old days. Just nice little twirl like a ballerina with a little like thing that looks like a giant flashlight.
I mean, the only thing I think I've wasted skill points in was there used to be all these tail snipers with heavies, and so I spec'd into the Kaldari Commando just to hunt tails, and now you can just take out any suit with a charge, so I don't even need that Kaldari Commando. Very rarely is it handy for a sniper.
Yeah, like in your case, like since you're using the like heavy suits, I guess maybe like the next thing for you to try like the commando suits, and then that and either assaults or logis. Like logis are very great to have alongside with a sentinel, especially when you get those guardian points.
Yeah.
I've got the Templar Logi to Proto.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so sometimes, like I do like the security work on a night shift. I'll play while I'm working. But if I have to like be away from the desk, what I'll do is just drop uplinks and AFK for like 5-10 minutes at a time. And do that. That comes in handy.
Hey Skull, why is the Calmando your least favorite?
Probably because it focuses on rail weaponry, and there isn't too many rail weaponry that deal with good close quarter range. Even the assault rail rifle seems to have trouble close quarters, at least for me. It's a good, it's great sniper though. If there's a sniper on Overwatch camping spawns, and you got a Calmando sitting there, that's a good sniper.
Oh, I remember those. Like one of my favorite things about the Calmando snipers, especially the ones that hide themselves in the red line to snipe, is they think they're invincible until I run up into the red line, deep into the red line, and I stab them. I've done that countless times in the past, and every time it's hilarious.
If you can locate one within 300 meters, it's best to just kill him with a militia forge gun. That's the ultimate anti-sniper weapon.
Yeah, so I heard. I heard that's a good anti-sniper. Although I'm not very good with the forge gun myself.
I think it's quite good. There's a lot of satisfaction from getting a kill with a forge gun.
I do use the HMG. Like I managed to salvage like a strong box that when I opened it apparently it had a the Quaif HMG BPO. I was like,
Oh,
oh
that's
hell
what I
yeah!
want.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
And my first thought
bastard.
was, and my first thought was, wait a minute, I'm mainly scout. How did I end up with this? You could hear the sound of heavies getting jealous out there.
Yeah.
That's me getting jealous. That's me getting jealous. I mean, at the moment, I strictly use the militia HMG just so that I can get good at managing the overheat. So when I do feel ready, I'll use Proto or Advanced, and I'll be killing it.
You know, one thing I've been trying out recently, and I've been inspired to do this after watching a YouTube video by a Dust player who put together a suit based off of the junk that he got from salvage. Like they're almost all either faction or ARM items, and he put together an Amar Sentinel with a steel mine HMG, with a steel mine HMG, lots of like proto level ARM stuff, and he was just wrecking people with that suit the whole match in a domination, I think.
I think a good suit for Aurum items is just a basic Sentinel MR and 3 hacking mods, and just play skirmish or factionals with that. It's a good suit. Just hack and take the objective and defend it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, the only downside of those scrap fits though, like you have to replenish them with more salvage. That means you have to play more and hope that you get the salvage that you need. Sometimes I get salvage that I don't even use.
Yeah, I got loads of salvage. I just don't know what to do with it. I'll tell you
Yeah,
what was a wounder. They gave that cringe damage mod. That made my militia damage mod BPOs worthless. I was like, oh man.
Oh, you got that BPO too?
Yeah, I got that. I use it all the time. That's on every fit. I mean, in my high slots, it's always damage mod. I don't use shield.
Yeah, I love it because like you can it's just great for like those combination light and sidearm weapons, and you don't have to fit 2 damage mods, one for sidearm and one for light or
I
something
think
like
it's
that.
best used on a Kaldari Sentinel because you can do 3 cringe damage mods, a forge gun, and your submachine gun is lethal with it. Because I've got my submachine gun to proficiency 5, so it's my only sidearm. And with the 3 damage mods, it's like a light weapon.
Like one suit I sometimes use now. Like you have you ever tried out those Black Eagle scout suits that you get on the daily missions?
Oh yeah, I got 100 of them waiting for player trading.
Oh yeah, I've been playing around with a few of those. Like one thing I do is like I replaced the shotgun with like either sniper rifle or a combat rifle because I kind of suck with a shotgun really. I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with that thing, so I replaced it with either a sniper or a combat rifle. Man, it's really nice to just wreck people's day when like you're killing people at a distance, and you swap over to the sidearm, which happens to be an assault rifle, right there.
Yes.
And like a little added thing though, I think this was back in I think Christmas, when we were awarded, at least some of us were awarded, I think 50 copies of the Black Eagle assault rifles. And that you can fit that on any suit, and those things turn almost any suit into a mini commando.
The only thing is pointless using it on would be a heavy.
Well, depending on the heavy though. I mean, I managed to open a strongbox that had an Archduke modified Sentinel, which allows me to fit in a light weapon, a sidearm, and an HMG.
Yeah, I mean with that Archduke Sentinel, I got 3 of them. I reckon the best combo on that would be Bandless HMG, then I'd have a Black Eagle assault rifle as a sidearm, and maybe like a laser or a rail rifle. So you got close range, long range, and mid range covered. Because the HMG is like a shotgun anyway, really, up close.
Oh yeah.
And then I'd put probably in the highs all damage mods, and in the lows probably one Ferris scale, another kin cat or a repper, depending on the map.
Yeah, I was like, I'm curious right now. So what people here think about the upcoming event that CCP is hosting. At least when is it?
On the 9th.
Yeah, the 9th. Yeah, April 9th. When like it's in regards to faction warfare. Like I wonder what everyone thinks about that event.
If it encourages lower queue times because more people are playing, it's good.
Well, I'm just hoping that we don't have to suffer like the long queue times, because so far I'm only seeing like the estimated time set to 0000, and that's just telling me that there have been no games for the past 10 minutes for faction warfare.
Oh, faction warfare starts in like 2 to 3 hours time normally. On a Sunday it's probably a bit earlier, but normally it's like another 2 hours to start firing.
I just love faction warfare mainly because, like, you know, there's no matchmaking to deal with. It's like a first come first serve, and there you expect to see, you know, proto players there. Well, like I don't think I've ever seen like much in the way of like new players sticking around in factional warfare for long. That thing is a real ISK sink.
Not for me. I use like basic gear most of the time. I still do okay sometimes, depending on who the opposition is.
Yeah.
Because with me, I notice whether I use basic, advanced, or proto, I won't do hardly any better because I don't really have a tactic. I just go in kamikaze, and I'll probably have the same KDR with everything. If I run my heavy, I'll probably go like 10 and 10.
My KDR is just not good at all. Like, I mean, if you ever look it up on the leaderboards, it's like below everything else. I guess. I mean, I'm not even listed on the leaderboard, I guess, because of that. And but mainly because I just don't care. I run I mean, for crying out loud, I usually run a scout suit with a knife in a gunfight. That should tell you how low the KDR would be. But when it comes to like that and like faction warfare, like one of the things I usually do is like I just become like a gnat to the opposition as much as possible. Even if I don't kill anyone for a long time, I just run in and just start hassling people. So at least in the vain hope of distracting them long enough for my team to win.
Yeah, I mean, the factionals, there's at least 1 or 2 garages on every team on the queue. They do well with that.
Yeah. I think like one thing I'm just curious though is like what CCP has planned for like for maybe the next update, because so far from what people like Jadek Manaheim and Aeon Armati have posted on the forums and on Twitter is their findings on the Singularity test server from EVE Online. Apparently there's some skins in the database suggesting that, you know, like we'll be seeing some customized skins on the suits one day.
Ratati sent out a big hint on Twitter. Basically, this new faction warfare event, he sort of hinted towards you'll definitely need to have some of these old loyalty points, and hint sort of thing. More than likely, his hint seems to be pointing toward new skins that we'll be able to buy and attach to our suits through the loyalty point store of when doing factional warfare.
As long as they have all black, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Well, the one that was posted was a red color for a Caldari Assault C1, I believe. And
it was the Calichiota one, right?
Not the Calichiota, no. It was a skin, and it said red, and then it said Cavalry Assault C1. Now listen, let me see if I can find it. Kane Spiro is the one who posted that on Twitter, and let's see if I can find that. Favorites.
I'm just curious as to how they're all gonna look, or how it might work out in the game, because I'm just having this picture in my mind, like from the EVE Online keynote in FanFest 2015, when they were showing like those EVE ships that are changing color while in space. I'm like, wouldn't that be cool to have it on the field there?
Right.
Will they be releasing a scanner and cloakfield BPLs to get all the equipment, or a remote explosive BPL?
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, here it is. Found it. Medium Caldari skin, red.
I'm just curious as to when they might implement that. Well, one thing I'm at least looking forward to is that they changed they changed the extra reward of paying ISK to just to just winning any match, not just for the race that your character represents. It used to be like that before, but they changed it now because not every Galantean is fighting for the Federation, not every Caldari is fighting for the state, not every Mimitar is fighting for the Republic, and so on.
Right.
Now, I'm still kind of curious though, like how's Planetary Conquest doing right now? Because I haven't been playing that in a long time. Does anyone know?
There's no movement. There's no motive to even do it. There's no ISK.
There's not much in the way of motivation, huh?
Not in particular. I mean, the only biggest motivation that I could see is people wanting to get the proto BPOs, but that's about it.
Well, yeah.
Wait, PC or faction?
Planetary Conquest
PC. There's no motive to even play. There's no ISK. There used to be ISK, but now it's like, yeah, you hold land, but really, what are you gonna do with it?
It used to be like that with the extra clones that are sold off, like at least the ones that you can't hold on to due to lack of space. But like if I remember correctly, that eventually turned Planetary Conquest into ATM machines.
Yeah,
a lot of cores. That kind of screwed up a lot of like how players played like the matches, like pub matches in particular. You see just proto players like just running their expensive suits constantly because they have a district to fund them all the time.
Right.
And I'm just gonna chalk that up to like bad planning on the part of CCP there, because they should have done a better job there on how like it would affect the players on pub matches. I guess they just didn't have that kind of hindsight at the time. I mean, thankfully now, I mean, CCP Retidy was talking about like wanting to overhaul that. I'm not sure if they're gonna get started with that already. I mean, I'm just looking forward to like at least getting back to Planetary Conquest, but I'm just curious to see like what's the point. Anyone else? It's like anything else for us to talk about for today? I mean, we still got like another half hour at least.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
No, I'm pretty sure there's got to be something over here. Anybody here interested in like cross training to another specialty or got something else to talk about?
Killer said he does.
So what do you want to talk about? Oh, training. And what about training? Like how are you using the scout? Yeah, like using the scout as a light assault. It's not going to work out very well, very well for you. I mean, like you got to really know what the hell you're doing. Like there's only so few scouts that could pull it off, and those people like they've gone through baptism through fire in order to get to where they are with that kind of skill set. Have you at least like try to make sure you're constantly attacking from behind rather than just running head first? I see. Um, no, I'm just like what just I'm just wondering though, like what like one thing I just haven't like thought of on how to better myself here with remote explosives, because usually I do it with knives, and like sometimes having an SMG with me, but like I rarely use remote explosives nowadays because it's just really difficult for me to plant an explosive, especially when everybody's just running like moving around, and by the time it detonates, either you've been shot down before you can detonate it, or the target just walked off beyond its range. So I'm just wondering, like, how many people here are actually very good at just like killing a lot of people with remote explosives? Oh, come on, nobody?
No, I suck at remote explosives. I can't offer any advice here. Sorry.
Ah, damn, man. I thought there'd be at least one person. Yeah. Like how many? Hey, killer, how many do you think you'd average with killing with just explosives in a match?
I'd say I'm about 30% accurate. I'm not good at tossing remotes at people. Usually, I get my kills off of putting them on the terminals at objectives and points.
Hmm. Well, well, yeah. That's a good trick. Although, like from my perspective, that doesn't seem to work against a lot of people who dedicate themselves to hacking objectives,
Yeah.
because they usually carry a flux grenade or any kind of grenade. They just chuck it in there and clear it out.
Mhm.
Those flux grenades are really effective. They just cover a wide area. You don't really have to like position them like carefully like you would with a normal grenade.
Yep.
Flux scanner, like, yeah, I think that helps too. But from what I heard, there's a bit of a bug with them that like you scan like a remote explosive from a distance, but when you as you approach it, like it seems to teleport the position on the attack net. Like there's a bit of a slight inconsistency from what I heard. Is that true?
Yeah, sometimes they throw them out and it just drops to the floor when they've actually tossed it somewhere, but you don't know where they've tossed it. So it'll drop to the floor, and then once it's active, then it'll teleport to its actual location.
Ah, interesting.
And it's quite annoying.
Huh, shit.
Because you're like, oh, okay, the remote explosive is over here, and then you find out it's not actually.
Hmm. Like, I mean, the remote explosive stick around inside the like the you know those no cannon objectives? Are they
Yep.
is this,
They
is there
stick
still?
inside and they teleport down into the objective. You can't see them unless you've scanned them, or you
And
know
you have to
you
flux
can
it.
throw. You have to flux it. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. You can't shoot it.
Oh really? It's
Yep.
glitched in there.
Yeah.
Oh man. I guess that should be no surprise to me. I mean, I remember seeing like a Twitter post, like some guy on like on the Japanese side posted it, where he just tossed an uplink into one of those no cannon objectives. I think it was like the one on Line Harvest with the 6 towers, and he just tosses in there, and you see the uplink just bouncing back and forth between the terminal and the back wall of it, just bing, bing, bing. It's like seeing Pong going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then it just explodes and takes out the other uplink that was already in it. I'm like, how do you pull that off? Yeah, there's some glitches going on over there with those no cannons.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I remember long ago somebody like was wanting to try out an experiment with stopping the null cannon shots to save their MCCs by parking
Yeah, parking your
vehicles on top of them.
dropship on top of it.
It's actually possible.
But it must be expensive though.
Cannon shots vary in damage, but for the most part, they do about 50,000 damage. It's almost impossible to block them without sacrificing your ship.
I think I heard somebody also say that like they experiment with like, especially now that like myofibril stimulants have gotten that buff with the jumping, that all you gotta do is get like just put your suit on top of it now, and just wait for a null cannon to fire.
Yeah.
Made it a whole lot cheaper then. This is not that easy to get on top of the null cannon otherwise. I mean, the only place I can think of where you can is probably Ashland, where you see the L pipe. But even then, I think it's like quite tricky.
Yeah.
But one thing I've seen people do with vehicles is yeah, Shannock, they can be null cannon shields if you can afford the losses. You gotta have deep pockets for that. Like another thing I've seen people do with dropships in a very expensive manner is go flying into the red line, and I think this is back when the entrance for the MCC was slightly bigger, and it was actually big enough for a dropship to go right in, and people would just spawn out of the dropship with like HMGs and start killing people who spawned in there.
Yeah.
But they could only last for 20 seconds in there in the red line before they go poof. So it's a really expensive proposition to do that. I don't think you could do that anymore.
Oh, this is about the other. I'm gonna check on eBay.
Let's make people voice higher in the game soon.
If they say I'm posting it on Monday, still got 2 days to look around.
I'm not sure there is. I mean, right now I use an amplifier on my headset that allows me to control like the voice on people.
But the main thing is, look at the replies to the email. If he emails me, then I'll buy it off him for 100.
I just like want to let everybody know, like this is an open forum over here. It's like we're not stuck to like any one particular topic. I mean, if anybody here likes to contribute to like the discussion with more to talk about, that'd be great.
They can hear you when you're cussing me. No, they're not
Well, I
foreign,
guess-
they speak English.
I guess we don't really have that much to talk about then at this point, huh?
I'm kind of concerned about the pilots only to drive vehicles, because on some maps, if you're a heavy and there's no uplinks, it's a long way to walk.
One thing I see heavies do quite often is drive around their LAVs, pop out with an HMG, kill, and pop right back in.
I don't do that.
Well, I can understand it, like, you know, for some heavies that don't have any access to an uplink, they could do that without a problem. But it's just like I find it kind of really scrubby when I see other kind of heavies use it strictly just for killing, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's just like
They must get bored of that, though. You can't do it
see
all the
them,
time.
yeah, like you see them coming at you. You thought you thought you're about to get the kill on them with a plasma cannon or a swarm launcher, and then out comes a sentinel with his HMG or forge gun trained at you.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if CCP's ever going to implement some kind of, like, I don't know, like a timer or animation based kind of like loading and unloading system for it, kind of like how
I
Halo
wouldn't
does
mind
it.
that. That'd be okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I know Halo does it in every game, where like you see every player, they have to manually board. You see them go through the motions, but in the meantime, while they're doing that, they're exposed.
Like, instead
It's
of having animation, which I think is complicated, maybe they should have like a 3-second hack to get into the vehicle or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like maybe like a short-term solution for CCP to implement like right away. Something that doesn't require like maybe like an extra person on the team to do it. 'Cause I don't know how many people the CCP Retati has for his team. Like, from what I understand, I think it's like probably like around like at least 5 or 7. But I think I may be wrong on that. Like Retati told me that they have quite a bit of people. He just didn't say how many and who.
There's a new guy on the forum yesterday as well. I can't remember his name.
Aquahead.
That's it. Aquahead.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm curious about this new dev. Hold on, let me see if I could find a Twitter page, because I think you can follow this person on Twitter. Aquahead Lao. Yeah, a Chinese dev. Like, let me type it in the chat over here, like, in case you guys ever want to like follow that person on Twitter, if you ever have one. Like another one, like in case you guys don't have CCP Retati's Twitter handle, just look like if you ever go on Twitter, go on search and look for just type CCP Retati. It's like it's pretty simple. Let me just type here in the chat. He's the go-to person when it comes to like anything pertaining to Dust. That or CCP Frame. I think Logibro. I'm not sure. Is Logibro still there in CCP? Anyone know?
No.
Oh, well. But yeah, he's basically the senior director for Dust 514. Like, he's the one that runs the whole team, in case anybody doesn't know. And like, if anyone here that if anyone here doesn't frequent the forums, like I really encourage all of you to come over to the forums if you can. I mean, even if you have to do it through your smartphone. I mean, your PS3 could also handle that if you can manage. Oh yeah, talking about locking the tank.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's one of my pet peeves with players that want to hitch a ride on your vehicle. I mean, I would love to. That's one of the things that discouraged me from actually being a vehicle-based player. I just don't like it when, like, you know, somebody boards a vehicle that I'm driving, and you know they don't want to get out, but you have to get out, and you're afraid that they're gonna switch seats and take your vehicle.
Yeah.
I think it's worse for players who are in drop shifts because, you know, you're carrying all those people, you're hovering over an objective, and nobody jumps out. Some people recommended that, you know, you just boot them out manually.
Yep.
Yeah, they do make it their home killer. They do. I mean, they probably set up they probably set up their clothes and probably messed up the kitchen inside the vehicle. And they put up the curtains. Then next thing you know, they come out of the bathroom and they're flushing the toilet. Yeah, like I said, it's one of the reasons why I stopped riding vehicles and why I don't really have much skill invested into them. Like, I think the only vehicle I ride so far is the LAV, and that's just for trying things out. I just got bored. Yeah, I mean, so far, like I said, I just highly encourage you guys to come to the forums if you can, in one way or another, if you can't. Other than that, I mean, I guess this is all that's all there is to this open forum that we got here. I mean, nobody here seems to have anything else to talk about. So, you guys want to, like, at least squad up, or at least make multiple squads and try to sync our way into a match?
Sure. I'd be down for that.
Okay, let me just make up a squad here.